What it do? What it do, my love? This is you, the prophetess, and today I will be reading out of Ruth in the Bible because I was in the bathroom and I was looking at my Bible while I was in the bathroom, and I was in Proverbs. It's kind of like, you know how when you open up your Bible and you go to like a certain part of the Bible or whatever. And I went to Proverbs and it was telling me about smooth words, like how people present them words and how people present themselves, okay? Proverbs was telling me that smooth words may hide a wicked heart, just as a pretty glaze covers a clay pot. And that's so interesting because literally people in this world, they try to cover up sadness with makeup. They try to cover up certain things with certain things. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, just as pretty as a glaze covers a clay pot, smooth words may hide a wicked heart. People may cover their hatred with pleasant words, but they are deceiving you. They pretend to be kind, but they don't. But, okay, they pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts are pure evil. While their hatred may be concealed by trickery, their wrongdoing will be exposed in public. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down to others, it will crush you instead. A lying tongue hates its victims, and flattering words can cause ruin. That's why some people like to keep things silent. That's why they like to keep things secret, because it's like certain secrets and certain things that people hide can literally ruin them. But my thing is, why do they, like, it's like, why do they go around ruining other people? You get what I'm saying? Like, they go around ruining other people, but they don't want to be ruined. That part is so bizarre to me. But anywho, but okay. And this is not the King James Bible. This is the New Living Translation. And I'm just going to be reading out of Ruth. Okay, so Ruth, the author was Samuel according to the Jewish tradition, although the genealogy suggests that it was written after his death. The date written was between 1375 and 1050 BC. The content basis is God often uses the most unlikely people to accomplish his plan and purposes. In this book, Ruth, the Moabite widow, willingly leaves her homeland to care for her mother in law, Naomi, who is a widow. Being a Moabite, Ruth was not a part of God's chosen people, Israel, but she chose to follow God anyway. God rewarded her for her faithfulness and her kindness to her mother in law. First, he provided for Ruth's physical needs. As Ruth went out to get food, she came upon a field where the owner allowed her to gather as much leftover grain as she needed. But God's provision did not stop at Ruth's immediate physical needs. The owner of the field, Boaz, also happened to be a relative of Naomi. Boaz took a sincere interest in Ruth, and eventually they were married. God continued to show his faithful love to Ruth and Boaz by honoring them through their descendants, King James, and hundreds of years later, Jesus Christ. All right, let me switch. All right. All right. Now, Now, I'm kind of like I'm kind of what you call like a student teacher. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like I learn as I go, and then I also it's kind of like I learn as I go, and I also teach as I go as well. So if I don't know any of these names, that's why I have all my devices. Oh, my iPad is somewhere in that book bag or whatever. But let me get on Google right here so I can figure out some of these names, because I do want to be the one to make sure I say the names right. So when I look back at this video, because I might look back at this video while I'm sleeping or something, because it is some good sound going on in the background. So I might like listen to this while I'm asleep or something, or laying down or taking a nap.
Looking at how to pronounce these names, as well as how to say more interesting but often confusing biblical names that many mispronounce. So make sure to stay tuned to the channel if you enjoy learning those. Elimelech.
Elimelech.
Is how you say it correctly.
Elimelech. Okay, so chapter 1 in the chapter of Ruth in the Bible, chapter 1, Elimelech moves his family to Moab. In the days when the judges ruled in Israel, a severe famine came upon the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah left his home and went to live in the country of Moab, taking his wife and 2 sons with him. The man was named Elimelech, and his wife was Naomi. Their 2 sons were Mahlon and Kilion. And I think I said Kilion right. Oh, hold on. It says they were E P EPHRATH.
Ephrathite. Ephrathite.
Ephrahites. Okay. Let me get back on Google. All right. So let me start over because they were Ephraite. Ephrates. I forgot how they said it that fast. Hold on.
Ephrathite.
Ephrathites. Okay, Ephrathites. All right. So let me start that chapter over. Elimelech. Okay. In the days when the judges ruled in Israel, a severe famine came upon the land. So no man from Bethlehem in Judah left his home and went to live in the country of Moab, taking his wife and 2 sons with him. The man's name was Elimelech, and his wife was named Naomi. Their 2 sons were Mahlon and Kilion. There were, oh my gosh, I forgot that word. That word is so weird. Ephrathites. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in the land of Judah, and when they reached Moab, they settled there. Then Elimelech, I keep forgetting their names. This is some, oh my God. Then Elimelech died, and Naomi was left with their two sons. The two sons married Moabite women. One married a woman named Oprah, and the other married a woman named Ruth. But about 10 years later, both Mahlah and Chilion died. This left Naomi alone with her two sons and her husband. Okay, so this one says Naomi and Ruth return. Then Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had blessed his people in Judah by giving them good crops again. So Naomi and her daughter-in-law got ready to leave Moab and return to her homeland with her two daughters-in-law. She set out from the place where she had been living, and they took the road that would lead them back to Judah. But on the way, Naomi saw her two daughters-in-law. Go back to your mother's homes, and may the Lord reward you for your kindness to your husbands and to me. May the Lord bless you with security of another marriage. Then she kissed them goodbye, and they all broke down and wept. No, they said, we want to go with you to your people. But Naomi replied, why should you go on with me? Can I still give birth to other sons? Can I still give birth to other sons who could grow up in your husbands, who can grow up to be your husbands? No, my daughters, return to your parents' home, for I am too old to marry again. And even if there were possible, and I were to get married tonight and bear sons, then what? Would you wait for them to grow up and refuse to marry someone else? No, of course not. My daughters, things are far more bitter for me than for you, because the Lord himself has raised his fist against me. And again, they wept together, and Oprah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye. But Ruth clung tightly to Naomi. Look, Naomi said to her, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. You should do the same. But Ruth replied, don't ask me to leave you and turn back. Wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you live, I will live. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Whenever you die, I will die, and there I will be buried, May the Lord punish me severely if I allow anything but death to separate us. Oh, wow. When Naomi saw that Ruth was determined to go with her, she said nothing more. So the two of them continued on their journey. When they came back to Bethlehem, the entire town was excited by their arrival. Is it really Naomi? The women asked. Don't call me Naomi, she responded. Instead, call me Mara. For the Almighty has made life very bitter for me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi when the Lord causes me to suffer, and the Almighty has sent such tragedy upon me? So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by her daughter-in-law Ruth. The young Moabite women, they arrived in Bethlehem in the late spring at the beginning of the barley harvest. Ruth works in Boaz's field. Now there was a wealthy and influential man in Bethlehem named Boaz. He was a relative of Naomi's husband, Elimelech. One day, Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go out into the harvest field to pick up the stalks and grains left behind by anyone who is kind enough to let me do it." Naomi replied, "All right, my daughter, go ahead." So Ruth went out to gather the grain behind the harvesters. And as it happened, she found herself working in the field that belonged to Boaz, the relatives of her father-in-law Elimelech. While she was there, Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you," he said. "The Lord bless you," the harvesters replied. Then Boaz asked his foreman, "Who is that young woman over there? Who does she belong to?" And the foreman replied, She is the young woman from Moab who came back with Naomi. She asked me this morning if she could gather grain behind the harvesters. She has been hard at work ever since, except for a few minutes rest in the shelter. Oh, she's been at work all day except for a few minutes rest in the shelter. Boaz went over and said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter, stay right there with us when you gather grain. Don't go to any other fields. Stay right behind the young woman working in the field. See which part of the field they are harvesting and then follow them. I have warned the young men not to treat you roughly. And when you were thirsty, help yourself to the water they have drawn from the well." Ruth fell at his feet and thanked him warmly. "What have I done to deserve such kindness?" she asked. "I am only a foreigner." "Yes, I know," Boaz replied. "But I also know about everything you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. I have heard how you left your father and mother and your own land to live among complete strangers. May the Lord, the God of Israel, under those wings you have come to take refuge, reward you fully for what you have done." "I hope I continue to please you, sir," she replied. "You have comforted me by speaking so kindly to me, even though I am not one of your workers." At mealtime, Boaz called her. "Come over here and help yourself to some food. You can dip your bread in the sour wine." So she sat with the harvesters, and Boaz gave her some roasted grain to eat. She ate all that she wanted and still had some left over. When Ruth came back to work again, Boaz ordered his young men, "Let her gather grain among the sheaves without stopping her, and pull out some heads of barley from the bundles and drop them on purpose for her. Let her pick them up and don't give her a hard time." So Ruth gathered barley there all day, and when she beat out the grain that evening, it filled the entire basket. She carried it back into the town and showed it to her mother-in-law. Ruth also gave her a roasted grain that was left over from her meal. "Where did you gather this grain today?" Naomi asked. "Where did you go work? May the Lord bless the one who helped you." So Ruth told her mother-in-law about the man in those fields okay. So Ruth told her mother-in-law about the man in whose field she had worked. She said, "The man I had worked with today, his name was Boaz. May the Lord bless him." Naomi told her daughters-in-law, "He is showing his kindness to us as well as to your dead husband. That man is one of our closest relatives and one of our family redeemers." One of our family redeemers. Okay. When I said when Boots. Okay. Then Ruth said, What's more, Boaz even told me to come back and stay with his harvesters until the entire harvest is complete. Good, Naomi exclaimed. Do as he said, my daughter. Stay with this young woman right there. Stay with this young woman right there through the whole harvest. You might be harassed in other fields, and you'll feel safe with him. So Ruth worked along with women in Boaz's field and gathered grain with them until the day of the barley harvest. Then she continued working with them through the wheat harvest in early summer. And all the while, she lived with her mother-in-law. Ruth at the threshing floor. One day, Naomi said to Ruth, "My daughter, it's time that I found a permanent home for you so that you will be provided for. Boaz is a close relative of ours, and he's been very kind by letting you gather grain with his young women. Tonight, he will be winnowing barley at the threshing floor." Winnowing, I don't know what that word is, but hold on, let me Google that word real quick. Okay. Winnowing. Okay, I said it right. The agricultural process of separating lighter chaff from heavier value grain by throwing it into the air and letting the wind blow away impurities. Oh, wow. So he was doing that? Okay, so tonight he will be winnowing barley from the threshing floor. Now do as I tell you. Take a bath and put on some perfume and dress in your nicest clothes. Then go to the threshing floor, but don't let Boaz see you until he has finished eating and drinking. Sure to notice when he lies down then, and go uncover his feet and lie down there. He will tell you what to do. I will do anything you say, Ruth replies. So she went down to the threshing floor that night and followed the instructions of her mother-in-law. After Boaz had finished eating and drinking and was in good spirits, he laid down at the far end of the pile of grain and went to sleep. Then Ruth came quietly, uncovering his feet, and laid down. Around midnight, Boaz suddenly woke up and turning over. He was surprised to find a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am your servant Ruth," she replied. Spread the corner of your cover over me, for you are my family redeemer." "The Lord bless you, my daughter," Boaz exclaimed. You are showing even more family loyalty now than you did before. For you have not gone after a younger man, whether rich or poor. Now, don't worry about a thing, my daughter. I will do what is necessary, for everyone in town knows you are a virtuous woman. But while it's true that I am one of your family redeemers, there is another man who is more closely related to you than I am. Stay here tonight, and in the morning I will talk to him. If he's willing to redeem you, very well. Let him marry you. If he's not willing, then as surely as the Lord lives, I will redeem you myself. Now lie down here until the morning. So Ruth lay at Boaz's feet until the morning, but she got up before it was light enough for people to recognize each other. For Boaz had said, "No one must know that this woman was here at this threshing floor." Then Boaz said to her, "Bring your cloak and spread it out." He measured 6 scoops of barley into the cloak and placed it on her back. and then he returned to the town. Then Ruth went back to her mother-in-law Naomi's and asked, "What happened to my daughter? What happened, my daughter?" Ruth told Naomi everything. Ruth told Naomi everything Boaz had done for her. And she added, "He gave me 6 scoops of barley and said, 'Don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed.'" Then Naomi said to her, "Just be patient, my daughter, until we hear what happens. The man won't rest until he has settled things today." Boaz marries Ruth. Boaz went to the town gate and took a seat there. Just then the family redeemer had mentioned came by. So Boaz called him out. "Come out here and sit down, friend. I want to talk to you." So they sat down together. Then Boaz called the leaders from the town and asked them to sit as witnesses. And Boaz said to the family redeemer, "You know Naomi, who came back from Moab. She is selling the land that belongs to our relative Elimelech. Though I should speak to you about it so you can redeem it if you wish. If you want the land, then buy it here in the presence of those witnesses. But if you don't want it, let me know right away, because I am next in line to redeem it after you." The man replied, "All right, I'll redeem it." Then Boaz told him, "Of course, your purchase of the land from Naomi also requires that you marry Ruth." That is so wild. So the purchase of the land requires you have to marry a certain person. The Moabite widow. That way she can have children who can carry on her husband's name and keep the land in the family. Then I can't redeem it. Okay, that makes sense. The family redeemer replied, "Because this might endanger my own estate. You redeem the land. I cannot do it." Now, in those days, it was the custom in Israel for anyone transferring a right to purchase or remove this scandal, and hand it to the other party. This publicly violated the transaction. So the other family redeemers drew off this scandal as he said to Boaz, "You buy the land." Then Boaz said to the elders and to the crowd standing around, "You are witnesses that today I have brought from Naomi all the property of Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon. And with the land I have acquitted Ruth, the Moabite widow of Mahlon, to my wife. This way she can have a son to carry to the family. This way she can have a son to carry on the family's name of her dead husband and to inherit the family's property here in his hometown. You are all witnesses today when the elders and all the people standing in the gate replied, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make this woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, from whom all the nations..." Hello. Hey, good morning. Nothing, reading this Bible. Oh, okay. Okay, period. Right, because you know that's what they like to do. They like to give you a job and they'll like to barely pay. Well, I was telling my sister because I make $16 an hour right now, and I said honestly I never made $16 an hour before. This is my first time working a job making that much money. Yeah. But she was telling me because she do warehouse jobs off and on, so they be paying like $19, $20 and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I never made a job making that much money. The only time I had a job making that much money is if I was working my regular hours and I wound up getting overtime. And then that's when they wound up firing me because they didn't want to pay me that much money per hour for some reason. Oh, they on their way back. No. I mean, she can do that. No, it's 11:49. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Bye. What? Oh, you welcome. So, did you like the video? Okay. Well, when you need me to give you some more insight, just let me know. You welcome. All right. Bye. Okay. All right. Boaz said to the elders in the crowd standing around, "You are witnesses, and today I have brought from around you are." Oh my God, I'm literally stumbling on my words. Okay. Then Boaz said to the elders and to the crowd standing around, "You are witnesses that today I have brought from Naomi all the property of Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon, and with them the land I have acquitted Ruth. I have acquired Ruth, the Moabite widow of Mahlon, to be my wife. This way she can have a son to carry on the family name of her dead husband and to inherit the family property here in his hometown. You are all witnesses today." Then the elders and all the people standing in the gates replied, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make this woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, from whom all the nations of Israel descended. May you prosper." Oh, I don't know the name of that word. "And be famous in Bethlehem. And may the Lord give your descendants by this young woman who will be like one of those ancestors, Perez, Oh, I hate the name. I don't hate the name. Okay, like those are your ancestors: Perez, the son of Tamar in Judah, the descendants of Boaz. So Boaz took Ruth into his home, and she became his wife. When she slept with him, the Lord enabled her. The Lord enabled her to become pregnant, and she gave birth to a son. Then the woman of the town said to Naomi, "Praise the Lord, who has now provided the redeemer of your family. May this child be famous in Israel. May he restore your youth and care for you in your old age. For he is the son of your daughter-in-law who loves you and has been better to you than 7 sons." Also, it's pretty much one son is going to be better than 7 of them. Naomi took the baby and cuddled him into her breast, and she cared for him as if she was his own. The neighbor woman said, "Now at last Naomi has a son again," and they named him Obed. He became the father of Jess and the grandfather of David. This is his genealogy. I'm saying that word wrong. Hold on. Genealogical. Okay, this is his genealogical. I think I'm saying it right. Genealogical record of their ancestor Perez. Perez was the father of whatever his name is. Whatever his name was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of whatever his name is, and then whatever his name is was the father of whatever his name is, and then whatever his name is the father of Salmon. Then Salmon is the father of Boaz. Boaz is the father of Obed. Obed is the father of Jesse, and Jesse is the father of David. Okay, period. Okay, what is this? I gotta Google this word because I need to know what this name is. Genealogical. Okay, that's how I pronounce the word. Literally, that's how you pronounce it. But it sounds weird because I never said that word.
Genealogical.
Oh, genealogical. But I said genealogical and it came up.
Genealogical.
Genealogical. Saul's birth and dedication. Oh. My heart rejoices in the Lord. The Lord has made me strong. Now I have an answer for my enemies. I rejoice because you rescued me. No one is holy like the Lord. There is no one beside you. There is no rock like our God. Stop acting so proudly and haughty. Don't speak with such arrogance, for the Lord is God who knows what you have done. He will judge you and your actions. The bow of the Almighty is now broken. The bow of the Almighty is now broken. And those who stumble are now strong, but those who were well fed are now starving, and those who were starving are now full. The childrenless woman now have 7 children, and the woman who have many children waste away. The Lord gives both death and life. He brings some down to the graves, but praises others up. The Lord makes some poor and some rich. He brings some down and lifts others up. He lifts the poor from the dust and the needy from the garbage dump. He sets them among princes, placing them in seats of honor. For all the earth is the Lord's, and he has set the world in order. He will protect his faithful ones, and the wicked will disappear in darkness. No one will succeed by strength alone. Those who fight against the Lord will be shattered. He thundered against them. Damn. He thundered against them from heaven. The Lord judges throughout the earth. He gives power to his kings. He increases the strength of his anointed one. Damn, we got Eli's wicked sons here. Eli's wicked sons, a warning to Eli's family. The Lord speaks to Samuel. Samuel speaks for the Lord. The Philistines captured the ark. The death of Eli. Oh, wow, that just gave me chills. I got to read Samuel next. Let me see how big is Samuel. Because literally, I could just make that my life to read that because that's interesting. David protects the town of Keilah. David hides in the wilderness. David spares Saul's life. Jonathan helps David. Michael saves David's life. Saul turns to kill David. Saul becomes jealous of David. David marries Saul's daughter. Okay, but anyway, my love, I did really like that holiness is a personal conduct. Forbidden sexual practice. Wow. It's the forbidden sexual acts is having sex with family members. Like, of course, who's willingly doing that? Do not eat meat that has not been drained of its blood. Oh, do not mark your skin with tattoos. Oh my God, I did that already. I already got tattoos. But yeah, it was something in Saul. He was talking about how he talked to a medium, and then that medium that he talked to actually gave him some great advice. He was like, God is telling me to save you, protect you, and guide you. And it's like nobody's gonna hurt you and things of that nature because of that. And it was so wild. I need to find it again. It was after Ruth, I believe. It was like Saul consults a medium or something. Because in several parts of the Bible, it says no fortune telling and no things of that nature. But on here it says Saul consults a medium very well. And you know what? That's so wild because when I was reading those cards the other day, I kept saying that. I kept saying very well, very well. But that's how I know I'm doing the right thing by like going to read this one. Okay. But I'm gonna read that one probably tomorrow or whenever, or maybe later on today, whenever I have time. But anyway, see you later, my love.